Today was the first day of Inbound 2017 here in Boston. I'm here with Chris, our content writer. Just going to give you a quick recap of the day and sort of my key takeaways. Chris has written a full blog post on this. See that in the description. So the first session was a keynote from Piera Gelardi. She is a creative director and founder of Refinery 29, who do some really nice work. Again, the links will be in the description for that. And she was talking a lot about courageous creativity, creating the conditions to create content, to be creative. And she really was a person who went against the status quo. She's not afraid to challenge stuff, and I really like that. And you can really tell with some of the work that Refinery 29 were doing. One of the examples of this was they did a little bit of research on the top 100 grossing films in Hollywood. Only 4% of those had female directors, and they're doing a project around 12 female directors creating films. More info on that will be in the description. Another thing that Pierre said was how some of like the best ideas are created. For example, in a brainstorm, if there's laughter and fun and joy, that results in brilliant ideas. And I think that's a really important thing to take away, that if you are brainstorming, make sure the best ideas come out by creating a good fun culture there. The second session was by Peg Fitzpatrick. It was a session on Instagram and how you can build a big following on Instagram. There are 500 daily active users on Instagram, and I think this is a really important stat because so much attention is on Instagram, and if you can nail it, if you can get it right, then there is great scope for growth and for building your brand on there. So one of the main things she says was to set a consistent theme and style. Now this could be by using a filter, taking pictures of a similar thing, using the same colors, keeping it on brand. If you want to use your logo, and all these things come together will create a consistent style for your Instagram page. Some of the Instagram pages you use as good examples of having a good consistent theme and style with Gary Vaynerchuk, A Color Story, and Ann Street Studio. Links for those will be in the description, and they have really nailed down their style for Instagram. And if you're creating an Instagram for your brand or personally, you really should nail down your consistent theme. Also having a little bit of variety thrown in there, so using video, carousel maybe, boomerang, hyperlapse. There's definitely lots of options now you can apply to Instagram. Some of the tools that you could use, Adobe Spark. I love using Adobe Spark. It is a really powerful tool. You can auto adjust size, aspect ratio, it does it all for you. Canva is another one, similar to Adobe Spark. Wave is another one, which is really nice, but that's quite expensive, but I recommend you have a look and try that out. The next session was a breakout session on Reddit and how you can use Reddit to find ideas for your content, because Reddit is a platform which is massively popular. It's a huge forum, 8th most visited site from the Alexa rankings. And if you know how to use it, if you get on Reddit regularly, become a regular user, you can really harness the power of the community there. Often before a story hits the mainstream news, it goes viral on Reddit because of how their algorithm works. So that sort of breakout session was very much about how you can use those viral things, use what's popular on Reddit, and create content from that. So after lunch, we had the keynote from Brian and Dharmesh, the co-founders of HubSpot. They were absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Brian went over a lot of scalability and how you can go from a startup to a scalable company. HubSpot now has, I think, 1,800 employees. He was saying how when HubSpot started 11 years ago, it cost them £200,000 to start. And companies these days, it only costs them £1,000 to start. Now this means there is obviously a much lower barrier to entry, but on the same token, there is also much more competition. So when you start a company, you really have to take that into account. Brian also went over that if you want to make your company scalable, you have to have a good company culture, everyone going towards the same mission. Brian actually said a fantastic quote in this, which is, if you're working towards a mission you believe in, then it's passion, and if you're working towards a mission you don't believe in, it's called stress. And I think that was very powerful to make sure all your employees are on board with the mission you're working towards. Create a culture, a company that people love to work for. Another thing Brian spoke about was customer experience and how you can delight your customers. Again, this is a very important part of HubSpot's inbound methodology. Check out Chris's blog for more information about that. But absolutely fantastic keynote from Brian. So Dharmesh really spoke about the quality of content over the quantity of content, and I think that is really important for all content creators, to ensure that instead of just pumping out loads and loads and loads of content, just make sure you've got a good quality control on it and you're actually making content that people really want to consume. Another thing Dharmesh mentioned was messaging and how important messaging is now, and over the last year I think over 1 billion messages were sent to companies on Facebook, and anything with a billion in it should be taken note of. Again, read Chris's blog for more information on that. And the final session I had was the Keynote Product Spotlight. Now, I really enjoyed this because it really outlines some of the new features and how HubSpot is really innovating and creating features that is a really all-in-one CRM. So all of the new features will be listed at HubSpot/new. Link is in the description. But some of the ones of note are Conversations, which is a multi-channel inbox, which is sort of taken over from Messages. So not only will you just get the chat messages in there, you'll also get messages from social and so forth. Sales Professional. There is loads and loads that going into this. This is an upgrade from Sales Pro. And again, if you want to read up more about this, the link is in the description. They've really invested in creating a really nice sales portal. They've also got integrations with Shopify. They've acquired Motion.ai, which is a really cool acquisition. I suggest you go and read more into that. Definitely investing in artificial intelligence is going to be a really cool thing for HubSpot. Facebook integrated ads, integrated Facebook video, and there's so much more. So yeah, that pretty much sums up day one. I really enjoyed it. Inbound is a fantastic conference. Tomorrow we have Michelle Obama, former First Lady of the United States, for the keynote at 9 a.m. I'm so excited for that. If you do want to see my recap of tomorrow, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you've got any questions about HubSpot, about inbound, drop us a line at hello@hitfirstbase.com or leave a comment in the comments section. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.